Life I love, it'll be grand. In the hall you'll understand. Funny stories, truth to share. Irreverent but we care. Tune in now, come join the show. Faith and fun, that's how we roll. Culture life is just for you. In the hall we stay true.
It is time for another episode of the Cultural Hall, and if you are watching on YouTube, where you should have already subscribed, you can see 50% of my world on screen right now. It's my Robert! My dog has decided to join us for the first couple of seconds because it's anything to get out of a walk. It's just been absolutely beautiful weather here in Utah, so he's getting lots of walks, lots of days, and he's trying to hide here from Mom. Look at that good-looking mug. Come on, show everybody your cute face. I am Robert. I am so cute. And now he's done. I'm
and
joined
he's
by
trying
the
to
news
avoid
wizard.
the camera. Yes.
Joined by the news wizard Verlin. Welcome back. Great to visit with you the other day.
Good to visit with you the other day. Good to trigger you the other day. Good to hear all the feedback about the triggering the other day.
Yeah.
But I'm more interested in your lunch today and how that went.
Well, as an effort to not want to blow up the world, or as I like to put, tamp down a little bit of the anxiety and aggression, my neighbor across the street from me and I and my wife, we decided to go down to the Patty Shack just down the road from our house and have ourselves some burger and fries. Too many fries. That's the first takeaway.
They give you lots of fries.
So many fries.
They're good fries, to be honest, but there's a lot of fries.
Very delicious. As we were leaving the house, because I stepped on the scale the other day and I didn't like the number glaring back at me, I said, "Sweetheart, I do not need my own fries." And she said, "Oh, I was just going to get fries, actually, not a burger." And we both ended up getting a burger and fries and having too many fries. So, So that was that.
You inspired me. You inspired me. I knew you were going there to a hometown place, so I went to my own hometown place.
It's called Merritt's BLT
Grill since 1929.
Okay.
And they even list all of the ingredients to their standard BLT on the.
They got the sourdough, the bacon, the lettuce, the tomato.
Well, bacon 3 times. So there's
three
layers of bacon.
Oh my gosh!
And then lettuce, tomato, and sourdough again. And I will put it up against any BLT in the entire universe.
And that's the one that you told me that if I go to visit you, we're going to go there.
We are going there. Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
I'm sure that there is at least someone who wants to know, are you in your new house, or was I in fact correct and you're not going to be there till Valentine's Day?
Well, I would say neither one.
Okay.
We're not in the house yet, but today we passed the final electrical, final plumbing inspections. Tomorrow is the final full inspection from the town and the final zoning inspection. So the theory is by tomorrow evening, we have permission to move in.
Okay. The theory is, of course.
And of course.
Yeah.
But I'm not pushing it to the 14th of February yet.
Okay. I am.
I know you are.
After the 14th is you are all the merits I can eat. That's the gamble there. I'll have to come out just so I can eat my just deserves for being so accurate with it.
No, that'll be good. That'll be good. No problem with that. And for those that don't know, on social media, on my Facebook page, 9 months ago, I put up a post and said, whoever guesses closest to the actual date that we're back in the house gets to come spend a night and have dinner on us here in Chapel Hill.
And who's in the running right now?
Well, I haven't even bothered to go look at it yet. Once we're actually in the house, then I'll go back and look and see who actually won.
That's a fair point. Is it you have to go closest to it, but being under?
No, it was just closest to it. I didn't specify the under or over.
Okay. All right. Anything else going on for you?
Well, I broke my finger Monday.
Okay.
You can't really tell. It's not swollen that bad, but I can hardly move
Pinky finger?
it.
Which one?
Pinky finger on my left hand. And you don't realize how much you use your pinky finger on your non-dominant hand. I couldn't believe
I would
how
think
much
I don't
pain
use it
did.
much at all.
Yeah. Well, it's painful all the time because I keep trying to use it. Went and got the x-rays done this morning, and the doctor has not called me back, so I'm assuming it wasn't broken. It just must be a sprain.
Okay. So are you going to get a popsicle stick?
No, I'm going to do nothing until the doctor tells me I need to do something.
Okay.
Because I'm supposed to be moving this weekend, and it's hard to type when you have a popsicle stick on your finger.
Yeah,
too.
that's a fair point. You know what you should do? Sorry, family, I actually can't move. Elders Quorum, I have been your president for a while. I'll just come and
I'll come
point.
supervise
I'll
and direct
point.
traffic.
That needs to go here. Sorry, guys, it's the pinky. I can't. Doctor's orders. I can't do that.
Well, there's a strategy. I like that strategy. Maybe I will go find a brace to put on it.
Yeah, or just do what I plan to do with moving. If we ever move again, joke in our house is my wife may move again, I may not, or I will not. That's sort of the joke that she hates. But if in fact we do move, because I'm trying to not be so rigid with some of those things, if in fact we do move, we will hire movers and we will pack stuff away and we'll say, thank you for taking care of that. And then we'll send a little thank you note to the ward that we're in and say, you're welcome. We didn't ask any of y'all to do any of this. It's just been a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for worshiping alongside of us all.
So to be honest, I tried to do that. And the bishop caught wind of it.
You tried to hire movers? Or what?
Yeah, we were going to take care of it ourselves and hire people to empty the 2 storage units and bring it to our house. And the bishop cornered me a couple of Sundays ago, and he said, so what's your moving plan? And I told him, and he said, oh, no, you're not. He said, you and Susan have served enough in the word, we will move you. So use your elders quorum and let's get it moved. So that's what I'm following my priesthood leader.
Listen, guys, I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it this way. The bishop bishop
this
is
way I have to
me.
rent a U-Haul truck and I have to, do all of that. And,
I would have said, I appreciate you very much. Please stay in your lane. I'm going to have somebody else do this. I will take that under advisement. You don't have stewardship over my move.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that sounds pretty decent that you might get in, like you say.
We may get in, yeah. So the move is planned for Saturday. Anyone that wants to come help us, there is a schedule. We have 2 storage units, and then we'll be emptying a truck into our house at some point late morning. So,
we did get an email, and I want to share that. I'm pretty sure I have to keep this anonymous. I do. It says, hello, I'm a fairly recent listener. I love every episode that you do. I am a dry member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Never been dunked, but participate in almost every other way. I love hearing about issues, news, and people who don't necessarily align with the typical Latter-day Saint mentality, especially in the area that I live in. I actually found your podcast, I'd say show, but that's all right.
Show in podcast form is good.
Yeah, thank you. After listening to the episode with Nathan Kitchen as a guest, so that was in the 900 somewhere, and I've listened to every episode since. I was so grateful, capitalized, Verlin. That's how grateful, so grateful, capitalized, to hear you, Richie, and Verlin talk about the current political state of the United States. I am a Canadian and am watching in horror as things progress down south, or rather devolve. And I'm so sad that nobody has said anything from the stand in my ward, especially given that I'm unable to do so myself at this point. I think a lot more people in the pews hold more liberal views like I do, but they're afraid to say anything. I'm so glad that you used your platform this way, even though you may have been goaded into it, which you were doing the goading.
I was guilty as charged.
From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for being a part of my spiritual journey and being the kind of church members I want to surround myself with. You truly read and live the words of Christ, and I'm so grateful. Best of luck in the future. Doesn't say be anonymous, but I think I may just leave it anonymous because in the back of my head, I thought, what's that?
A first name is fine.
And first name is unique enough that I would.
Okay.
I feel like maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, it's like signed Verlin, and then you're like, okay, well, that guy is the only Verlin I know. Yeah. I think it was this email that I was actually thinking of. This is also from anonymous. I would love it if Justin Pack, that is the Grace or Greed episode.
I don't know if you can hear me, but we are having
would return to do another episode. I'm feeling more and more as though we as a country, the United States, are definitely at the tipping point of the pride cycle and about to fall into the abyss. I'm serving a senior mission right now, and on the off chance that you read this on the air, don't use my name. Many people here live in modest homes built out of cinder block rebar, corrugated tin, bamboo poles, tarps and whatever else they can cobble together, but they don't seem to feel poor. And as Justin said, there's always food. Between knowing where to find it and growing it themselves, there's always enough, and the people are happy. I love the show in podcast form. So huge thanks to those that would send emails, contact@theculturalhall.com. You can always find us here. We love having you guys be a part of the Cultural Hall. Contact@theculturalhall.com is how you can find us. So encourage you to do that. Also encourage you to come find us on on your X. We are there, not very much, sometimes around General Conference, but even last time, I don't think that we did that. That's at the Cultural Hall. You can find us there. You can find us on Facebook and on Instagram by going to instagram.com/theculturalhall or just at the Cultural Hall. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Cultural Hall. It's pretty great to be able to visit with you, Verlin, but you have disappeared. I'm not sure where you went, so we may take this as an opportunity as we get to the end of that email to come back. In the second half, when we get reconnected with Verlin, we will do actual articles of news. You know, the turning of another year makes me start to think about how I have not done one of these ads for Best DJ in Utah in over a year. I'm sorry, everyone, but it means business is good. It means you should hire Best DJ in Utah. Why, that's me, and I even have people that work for me, trained by me, affordable, and travel all over. Literally all over, going to Florida this year, for instance. And this year means 2026, not this year, which could have been several years in the past, like we've been doing. You can go to bestdjinutah.com, or you can go and find us on our Google business page. It's Best DJ in Utah. You will see that as of the recording of this, almost 700 5-star reviews. Find out what so many listeners of the Cultural Hall have already found out. I'm great at parties. I'm great in your ear holes, but I'm also great at parties. So find out if I'm available for your date. We can help you out. Weddings, baptisms, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, funerals. I'll do a funeral. bestdjinutah.com. Here in the second half of Articles of News, we do actual articles of news. I would love it if you would please play that little ditty that we all sing along with. Hit it, Peter Brian Holt.
You can't lose articles of news.
And away we go. Now, Verlin, I asked you to order the news. I would be curious to know, how did you order today's news as we will deliver it?
I was going to say I cheated, but I used my trusty digital assistant and said I'd like to order this, capture 11 of the top stories. We want some good, some neutral, and some bad news. Give it to me.
Okay.
Did a little tweaking, but came up with this order.
Okay. So you have us, I'll take odd ones. You have us doing the portrait of Joseph Smith unveiled at Morehouse College as the first story. So let's get into it. Morehouse College, for people who don't know, it is a historically black college, or HBC. If you ever hear that reference, I know a lot of people, especially in the West, because do we have historically black colleges in the West? They're all in the East and the South,
I don't believe
correct?
so. I believe they're all in East, and Morehead is just outside of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. So this was unveiled on February 1st of this year, 2026, just a couple days ago as we record this. It hangs in the Martin Luther King Jr. International Chapel there in Atlanta, Georgia at Morehouse. The portrait sits between President Russell M. Nelson, whose portrait was added in 2023, and Abraham Lincoln. Interesting about this particular hall is that it features over 300 portraits honoring global leaders of the international civil and human rights movement. So it's interesting to know, representing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is Joseph Smith and President Nelson. Just significant to kind of note that.
Very cool.
It's interesting to note that the Reverend Dr. Lawrence Edward Carter Sr., the dean of the chapel, calls Joseph Smith Lincoln before Lincoln due to his early stance on emancipation. Obviously, Abraham Lincoln being the one who was president when that emancipation order came through, right? When they made that happen. Right. Yep. Smith's opposition to slavery was rooted in the Book of Mormon teaching that God invites all men to come unto him, black and white and bond and free, as we read actually in the Book of Mormon. Dr. Carter noted that Smith's political platform was essentially a death warrant, but demonstrated immense moral courage in an attempt to save the lives that would later be lost in the Civil War. Here is what I think is most interesting. Have you ever seen the particular rendition of Joseph Smith that they are hanging in Morehouse, the chapel there?
I had not seen it until I saw this hit the news a couple of days ago.
Yeah, it's one that's called Sunset on Nauvoo. It's painted by Connie Lynn Riley, and maybe if I'm being aggressive and living my best cultural hall life, I'll reach out to Connie Lynn Riley, or if someone knows Connie Lynn Riley or is Connie Lynn Riley, contact at theculturalhall.com. It is an interesting depiction. It's a very handsome, very how would I like it is
it's a very nice
flattering
painting. It's very flattering, and it's a beautiful painting with the Nauvoo Temple in the background, and I guess the flower of Illinois in the foreground. It's a really nice portrait.
A couple other things worth sort of noting about this, and you should check out that particular painting. I think I would love to know more of the story about that. But William Kennedy of the Genesis Group, that's from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, he viewed the event as a celebration of Smith's expansive and inclusive teachings. Cassie Van Dyke noted that seeing portraits of church leaders at a black college helps her teenage son reconcile his identity both as a black man and as a Latter-day Saint. And then finally, both Dr. Carter and attendees emphasized that this event is a call to look past labels, find common ground, and act as true peacemakers, which is what this world needs. So I think probably in the large scheme of things, the most important story from the last week. So I just wondered if it was, if and how we got to that. So I'm glad we started there.
Yeah, I'm glad we did too. It's always impressive to see Joseph Smith put amongst other great leaders, not just religious leaders, but political leaders of the past. And this kind of recognition says a lot about his campaign for president and the risks that some recognize that he was taking in his platform.
Yeah. All right. So now we go to, we got to close down some roads for the temple.
Yeah, we're going to the streets that do have names in Salt Lake City, if people get that reference.
Yes, I do.
And for the 2027 Temple Open House, the church has requested that the city shut down a number of streets. The details will be in the notes contact of this episode, but they're shutting down a number of streets to allow for more freedom of movement of all of the pedestrians that will be around, to cut down on some of the traffic downtown, to make it safer for everyone overall. And in anticipation of 20,000 visitors, did they say 20,000 visitors a day is the
something
projected
like that,
number?
Yes. Yeah.
They're now saying between 3 and 5 million expected, and they expect the number of visitors to impact the local economy to the tune of $300 million plus dollars.
Yes.
In accommodations and food and business, and this is going to be what they're expecting, a 20% bump in benefits of tourism for the year 2027.
Now, what I think is interesting is that if there's anyone who's hearing this and thinking that they're not going to do this, it's going to happen. So the church essentially wants to lease this property from Salt Lake City and says, "Listen, we'll pay you $2 million so that we can do this April to October. Let us do this, and we're bringing $300 million plus to the downtown economy, and you know."
What's interesting about this, and I saw the same thing and thought the same thing. Usually, someone doing something like this would say, "Hey, it's in everyone's best interest to do this for safety reasons. Mm-hmm. Help us do this." City of Salt Lake in this case. The church took a different tact here. They said, "Yes, we need this to happen. We think it's good for everyone, but we're willing to pay you."
Sure.
For the inconvenience of having to shut these roads down. We'll pay you $2 million. You're going to get all the benefit of the tourism that comes in as well. We're trying to be good neighbors, good citizens, good stewards of downtown Salt Lake.
Yeah, they want to close North Temple, they want to close West Temple, and they want to close South Temple. Now, it's interesting to note that years ago, I don't remember what year this was, maybe turn of the millennia, when we bought Main Street, huge thing, how dare the mayor sell one of our streets to the thing, and lots of things with that. The only pushback that I've seen about this is this not making this a little bit more tempting for the church to want to be like, guys, we'll let you have North Temple and South Temple back, but we really kind of liked having West Temple.
West Temple over to the extra parking lots that we own.
Yeah, to the extra parking lots, to where they'll take down that hotel.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I can see them being like, listen, here's the deal. Not only will we do this, but you guys haven't had it for 6 months. We'll allow the city to use this property as the Olympics are coming to town. So we'll let you do that, but here's what we need you to do. We need you to let us purchase West Temple so that you have Main Street on the one side, which that hasn't had cars on in 25 years,
right? And
then West Temple on the other side, and then be able to do it that way.
And I think that's a totally legitimate ask if they're willing to pay market prices for that property.
Sure.
And if there's a good deal on the other side for the city, there's nothing wrong with those kind of arrangements with any kind of business if it works out.
Says you, there's something wrong. How dare they, Verlin? Of course, you would say that.
If they get preferential treatment, if they get zoning passed because of their privilege as being such an important influencer downtown, then yes, I would agree with that. But if they're doing it on the up and up and they're doing it the right way and exchanging value for value, that's what this country is all about.
Yeah, let them buy the roads. That's what I say. Let them buy all of downtown. Let's close it off. Let's make it how it should have been.
To be honest, if they wanted to, they could buy the city.
Yes. I mean, for the most part, right? Technically, we would be. I would love it if we could buy stock in the city. That would be incredible. We buy our stock in the church. I alluded to this. Our next story is the Olympics. The church has said, hey, we did it in 2002 and we had such a great time. We're going to encourage our members to volunteer again. Let's go.
Absolutely. So where are we going to volunteer, Richie?
You and I?
Yeah.
I'm hoping to work and make a little money.
Ah, okay. Yeah. You will. Yeah, I'm sure you'll work. I don't know what you're not going to spend any volunteer hours though, too?
No, I might do some. Here's what I did before. I regret this kind of, except it was a pretty epic road trip. When the Olympics came to Salt Lake in 2002, I said too crowded, and we did an epic road trip. 5 of us in my old 1988 Toyota Camry, down to Arizona and up the western coast. Just visiting and going wherever we wanted to and doing all of that. Right?
So cool.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun. But I would like to very, very much be around. And if I can, take tours for people and do something like that, I think that would be a fun thing to do. Or, maybe I'd like to do some sort of volunteer, like, hey, I'll give you a tour around the temple or something like that. As far as that thing goes, I'd love to be that religious engagement with the community. That would be the volunteering I would like to do. I don't know that I'm go get that guy water. I'm not gonna. The restrooms are over here. I don't want to do something like that.
Well, I'd love to volunteer. My ideal volunteer spot would be at the end of the bobsled track. The people that have helped the bobsledders get out of their bobsled. I'd love to do that.
Why?
I don't know. I just think it's one of the coolest events.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be there and see, people's excited faces as they come off of that. The second option would be the luge, except I would be tempted to want to take a run on my own.
Sure.
And that would be very dangerous. So,
have you ever here in Utah up at one of the places you can do a bobsled run?
Yeah, I haven't done it. I've seen the course, but I haven't done the bobsled run. That'd be a fun thing to do.
When's your anniversary, you guys?
Sometime in June.
Okay, sometime in June. She'll appreciate that you didn't know the day.
I know. I'm absolutely affirmative. It's sometime in June.
Yeah, definitely. It was the summertime when we got married. You should come out and do it.
We should.
Not in June. I don't think. Maybe it's in the summertime, but being able to do that bobsled
I'm guessing
run.
they have. I'm guessing they have it that runs all year round.
Yeah, probably. And then, just because of the kind of guy I am, I would be there at the end of your bobsled run.
Nice.
And I would say, "Hey, you need a hand?"
I appreciate
and then I'd help
that.
you out. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Then we'd go to Patty Shack and grab a burger and fries.
Yes, I know it's on your brain. It's still on mine and in my belly. The other thing is that the church has said, "Hey, we've got a parking lot. You guys used that parking lot last time. We're offering up that parking lot again." My speculation genuinely is the whole block that they're doing for the west of the Salt Lake Temple, they will keep it knocked down until after the Olympics.
Absolutely. They're calling this area Block 85, and I didn't realize they used it for the medal awards last time the Olympics came to town, that same block. This time they're talking about using it potentially for the medal awards, and obviously they have to have a DJ there, so I would assume the best DJ in Utah would be the guy doing that.
They will bring Cascade to do that for sure. It will not be this guy. I will not be the guy that they ask, but I'm flattered to
It would be great if you were doing that. The other option is they may use it for the new aerials, high-flying snowboarders. They needed a venue for that event, and they're thinking about building it there, which would be fantastic too.
Yeah, so this is what I'm saying. So follow this timeline, and when this comes out in the news and they go, Richie, how do you know all these things all the time? You just have to think these things through. We've got a large parking lot where they did before. So let's say that's where they make the aerial stuff for the snowboard and all that stuff. Great. Okay, well, we still need a place to be able to do the awards ceremony. You tell me a place that is more Salt Lake than having literally across the street from where you're at the Salt Lake Temple, the U up on the mountain, the Capitol to the other side, and the rest of the downtown
The Delta Center to the other side.
Yeah. It's
right on the
just,
tracks route. Yeah.
It makes too much sense. So I think that building, the hotel that they're knocking down, that's just west there of they'll leave that blank and they'll say, hey, Olympics, can we make a little partnership here? And the city will go, well, yeah, of course.
Now, the other important question is there a listener that perhaps has a room available within walking distance of this area? I would that would be tempting as well. Yeah, I need a place to stay.
Okay,
and I don't want to be dealing with all that horrendous traffic that's going to be just nuts. And
you can pay $10,000 a night. You can pay $10,000.
Of course, I could.
Yeah, for one night. Coming down and volunteering. You're smart though, trying to find a place to stay now because it gets closer. It'll just
and maybe I should do that. Book a hotel room for the 2 weeks anyway, just in case. I do that. By the way, Susan and I do that every year for the NCAA Final Four championship weekend for basketball. We book hotels in whatever city it's going to be in because it turns out hotel rooms are a lot harder to get than tickets. You can get tickets until the day of the event if you're willing to pay a little bit of money. You cannot get hotel rooms anywhere close to the NCAA Final Four within a few months of the event itself.
So you guys reserve them, and then if your team doesn't make it, you just go, let them go.
I just drop the room. Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. Life lessons with Verlin. All right. Take us to the next one, sir.
Yeah, the next one, we've talked about similar things in the past, but there's a first edition of the Book of Mormon going up for auction soon. The Yusuf and Estrelita Karsh estate includes some photographic prints as well as a first edition of the Book of Mormon, as well as documents signed by Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And this auction will start November. Wait, now when does it? It doesn't give us a date for the auction. It just gives us a time. 10 a.m.
It's slated, let's see, for Wednesday, February 18th.
Okay, Wednesday, February 18th. Auction starts at 10 a.m. You can go to universityarchives.com to offer your bid. Telephone and absentee bids will also be accepted. And they're expecting that this first edition Book of Mormon, of course, which is from the Grandin Press and lists Joseph Smith as the author, unlike editions after that listed him as a translator, they expect this will be going in the range of $200,000 to $250,000 for this first edition Book of Mormon, and I would surmise a good investment at that price.
Yep. I was actually I'm in a group that sells a bunch of both old and old stuff on Facebook. It's more just a curiosity for me, and someone was like, "I'm looking to finally get in on a first edition," and so I sent him that link, and he said, "Thank you very much."
That sounds like a cool group. Send me the link to that group.
I will.
I want to join too.
Be careful. You start looking at you start getting into that stuff, and you're like, maybe I should be a collector. And then I quickly realized I don't know what I'm doing. I just need to be an observer. Why can't I just? Why can't I?
That's
just
what
watch?
I want. I want to just watch other people be collectors and the excitement that goes on there.
Now, when Molly and I chatted last, it was the day that Whitney had her first night on Broadway, her debut night.
It was,
but we didn't know how it was. You said, how did you guys not talk about it? Well, we certainly did. She just hadn't had the night yet. So now we get to talk about it on the other hand, and I'm only sad that this is a odd number story, so I'm going to be telling it because I know how much you love The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So
I will throw in a comment here and there. Number one, I'm still a Whitney fan. So
okay. She was handed a bouquet of flowers by the company during curtain call. She appeared to get emotional looking out into the audience where she was supported by her husband Connor, childhood friends, and several of the Mormon Wives cast members. What my favorite part is there's a video on, I think, TikTok where I saw it, where you just hear one person way louder than everyone else. Whitney! And everyone's like, that has gotta be Connor, her husband. That's what I would be doing. But it's just so funny.
So.
They're like, hands down, that has got to be him. After the show's opening night, People, that is People Magazine, was in attendance as family and friends traveled a couple of blocks from the theater to the Glass House Tavern, which is a local bistro where it was all decorated and there to celebrate Whitney's milestone opening night. Whitney was supported in person by all of her Mormon Wives castmates except for one. Demi was not there. Demi shouted her out on social. It said, "Get it, my girl."
She said, "Break a leg."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Break a leg on the initial post, and then when there was a video of her or a picture of her getting her final bows, it's like, "My girl." So there you go.
There you go. I like the fact that Whitney took advantage of the actual script and score to score some points. There's a part where the character Annie is describing her reasoning for committing murder and says of the victim, not only was he married, well, he had 6 wives, one of them Mormons, and kind of added some panache as she delivered the line. And evidently the audience went absolutely crazy when she delivered that line.
And people who are unfamiliar with the show, they're like, "Oh my gosh, she just worked that in." And it's like, no, it's
part of the script.
It's part of the script. But cool that there could be that nod to her for sure. Connor, her husband there, no kids. Raunchy show for kids to come and check out. And kids being quiet at a show.
I thought that was kind of interesting that they said the kids didn't come because it was raunchy. Evidently, the kids don't get to watch any of the episodes either.
Yes.
Of Secret Lives, because it's just as raunchy as the movie or as the play.
Can you imagine? Would you have your kids watch that show if you were any sort of like, no, absolutely
any kind
not.
of parent knows their kid is going to end up watching that show at some point.
Yeah, at an age appropriate.
No, they're going to sneak in like I did with my friends when my buddy Chris got cable TV and no one else had it.
Okay.
We arranged to have all the sleepovers at Chris's house when we were 10 and 11 years old. And programming on, was it Showtime that was first or HBO? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But programming after midnight, I'm sorry, my parents, there was lots of questionable stuff there.
Berlin, how dare you?
It's
Naughty
the
boy.
life it's the life of a scheming young man.
Oh, yeah.
And their kids are going to do exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But you don't have to do it for them in the name of like, hey, they'll see this anyway.
Yeah,
you
but
don't
using
have to
that
be like,
excuse
"Here, I'll
is a
show it
pretty
to
funny
you."
one.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought was interesting, it sounds like the rest of the cast of Secret Lives was just as much a stir in the theater as Whitney on stage. They said at the intermission time, everybody jumped into the aisles to try to get pictures with them and selfies and do all the things. So good for them.
And not a lot, at least of what I saw, not a lot of like, she was terrible. Man, this show was the worst.
Yeah, I didn't see any negative reviews. Now, to be honest, I wasn't out there searching for them, but I think in my social media feed, I would have got them if there were negative reviews.
Seen the headline.
Yeah, the only thing that from the Secret Live standpoint that I'm glad you and Molly talked about, it gave me some warning. I will not be watching 20 episodes in this upcoming season.
I'm excited for you to watch all 20 episodes, Will.
Not going to happen.
You and I together. I'm excited to do that.
Now, if you want to do that together, I'm all up for a marathon with other people as a group. But I am not going to watch it myself.
I don't know that
Can
I
you
can
imagine
no.
a marathon with all the snacks and drinks and
I can imagine snacks and drinks. I can't imagine
would be
watching
fun.
the show. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay. All
I
right.
think that could be fun. Yeah. Well, anyway.
All right. It is your story turn. Here we go.
My turn. we've talked about this before. A Mississippi man was sentenced for federal civil rights and arson charges for setting fire to a church in Mississippi. Stephen Day Rowland, 37, of Wiggins, Mississippi, was sentenced to 360 months. For those that don't do quick math, 30 years. Sentenced to 30 years in prison for vandalizing and setting fire, I'll say twice, to a house of worship. A jury in the Southern District of Mississippi found him guilty of 6 counts of federal arson and civil rights charges after the trial in September of 2025. The judge said the sentence reflects the seriousness of the defendant's reprehensible conduct. Anyone who attacks a house of worship in America will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. For those that don't remember the details here, Mr. Wiggins decided, based on his beliefs and animosity towards the church, that he was going to break in, went to the cultural hall, built himself a little fire using pictures and hymn books as kindling and fuel, lit it on fire. It didn't cause too much damage, and so he decided 2 days later to come back and this time light the fire next to one of the walls so that he could create more damage. Still didn't really burn to the ground. But the church, they were unable to hold services in the building for months. So along with his 30-year sentence comes a restitution of $176,564.
And we will get all of those dollars.
I'm not sure if he has those dollars, and having never been in this part of the law and never been in court, I'm not sure how people pay that don't have those dollars. But I think it's hilarious that it's $176,564, and I was almost hoping that it would be and 30 cents.
Yeah, right. And 22 cents and 17 cents.
That's right.
And I think they should make him count it out in pennies in prison. 1,
That's right.
2, 3.
Pull up a truck full. Yeah, although pennies are in shortage right now, I keep hearing.
You can't get them. We're not making them anymore. I get it. Scandal.
This story is awesome, and I'm kind of ticked off that I didn't get this one. You go for it, and I'll
took
comment.
the dive with being Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, being able to talk about this. Scandal. I would even say a scandalicious scandal down at the BYU Creamery. There is the new BYU Creamery. It welcomes its students on campus.
It does.
It's much bigger, new products, so many great ways to get your Graham
well
Canyon.
thought out design and merchandising.
An opportunity for students who are interested in that particular thing to have hands-on experience with a business, and that's how they do that. That's how the whole creamery
Students
is
work
run,
there,
right?
yeah.
Well, not only do they work there though, but like students learn like how to observe like what's selling and what's not selling, and like point of purchase things and how to make things go quicker and all of that, right?
Believe it or not, one of your listeners, my youngest daughter, actually worked there while she was at BYU.
Get out of town.
I am serious.
Well, I wish I would have gone there and gotten some ice cream while she did. But did she sell things that had coffee bean and green tea extract?
No, but it sounds like there was plenty of it available on the shelves. And it sounds like despite multiple people telling them that it was there, it still took them a month to get it all off of the shelves.
What I love in this story is some of the quotes. And I'll do it as best justice as I possibly can.
You do one, and I'll try to do one too.
I think it's kind of shocking, and I feel like they should have known that. This speaking about the coffee bean and green tea extract in the different drinks. If they knew that was in the ingredients, then why should they be having it here on campus? Said Sydney Perico, a BYU student.
We're all imagining a freshman young lady at BYU who's, being exposed to worldly things for her first time.
Yeah. I don't. And
for another quote from
Reagan
Smith, a BYU student, that's totally out of context, and I can't figure out what this really means. I feel like it's kind of reflecting a little more on the church in general. It's like we're focusing less on yes and no kind of answers and more on what individual person feels.
Yeah. Yeah, which is that sort of, it very much to me seems like, it's like, hey, we're selling it here. Don't buy it. And that can be your choice.
Now, my favorite part was the excuse that was used.
Go on.
I love it. Well, it turns out, it says, So this is according to the store director, Keith LeBaron. He said, when selecting new items for the new store, we partnered with Associated Food Stores. In other words, it was their fault.
Yeah,
we used their
we didn't mean
planogram
to.
or schematic sets. By the way, planogram and schematic sets are two different things in retail. And he said, but we used their planogram or schematic sets that they use throughout the Western United States, LeBaron said. In other words, we did whatever they told us, and we didn't bother to look at the products that they were putting in our stores.
Yes.
He says there have been some items and categories that were not as easily identified, but we have been taking them out of the sets if they do not represent the type of items we would like to sell. This process will continue as new items are brought into the market and slower items taken out of the schematics.
Yeah.
Number one, wrong term for retail. But number two, your job as a merchandiser is to approve what products actually go into the store before they go into the store.
Sure, but how much do you think that Keith LeBaron, Keith LeBaron, the director of the new creamery, food services, whatever his title is, do you think that Keith LeBaron is this? What? It has green tea in it, and we're freaking out about this? I'm trying to run a store. What? Fine.
Here's my question. How long have you been working at BYU?
Is that
the
Keith
do you
LeBaron?
know is going to do this?
Is that the Keith LeBaron, or is Keith LeBaron this, Verlin? Is Keith LeBaron the... Oh my gosh. I can't believe that we've done this. I know that I should have cared more about this, but we can't represent the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as the church that allows the green tea, and we're going to do our best. But the wiles of Satan, the adversary, he'll try and sneak these in and doesn't have the thing on the can. I'm sorry that we've done this. Have been in touch with my stake president. We're working through it. I'm gonna go ahead and abstain from the sacrament for a little while. It seems like Keith LeBaron has to be that guy, or the what?
And obviously, we're making fun of Keith, and Keith, I'm sure, is a wonderful man.
Yes,
I don't want to, besmirch Keith at all, but I can just hear him saying, "Dang it, that client executive at Associated Food Stores, I'll never be able to trust him again. He'll never get, or else I'm going to get an extra 5% cost discount out of this guy.
Yes.
This is going to work out to our benefit in the end. In reality,
I'm a huge fan
of smart.
I'm a huge fan of conspiracy theories. I want to go one step further, and whoever the Associated Food rep is wants to see the change within the church, and thought that if they could get these green tea and energy drinks in within the church, that then we could stop having the conversation as to green tea being permissible, because if it happens at BYU, then it's allowable everywhere within the church, and wanted to work it in that way. So I'm going to, Keith LeBaron, whichever you are. Yep.
And maybe he did his research and said, you know what, I've realized that members of the church actually, it's all about the temperature of the caffeine they drink. Because I see Diet Coke and Diet Dr. Pepper, all these dirty sodas everywhere. Cold shouldn't be a problem with any kind of caffeine, right?
Sure. And I always like the idea of that picture. This is a meme. We've talked about it several times here in the Cultural Hall. But the picture where Christ is embracing the child, and it's very sweet.
It is.
And I always love the little caption where it says above Jesus's head, "Thank you for not drinking coffee." And to me, it's just a perspective thing for me, that I think, all right, guys, yeah, I can see it, but it's probably not the delicious BYU Creamery story that we all thought it was. Hey guys, did you know that it'd be the same thing, and this actually happened at my local grocery store. I saw something and I was like, this has alcohol in it. And that was a little bit more dangerous, I felt like, because it was being sold where the non-alcoholic beverages were. And I was like, am I wrong
like
on
a
this?
Truly
Is there a
product or one of
yeah.
those? Yeah.
Yeah. And I said, I need you guys to know, just for because I noticed this, there is alcohol in this thing. And I would hate for someone to be like, I bought my kid some lemonade. It was a grape drink, actually.
Yeah.
I bought my kid a grape drink and I'm feeding him booze. It was light, so it wasn't a big deal, but I was like, there is alcohol in this. And then the next time I come there's this big empty space of where all of that stuff was. And I was like, I'm saving lives, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, someone learned
Saving
something.
the hand wringing.
That's right. We'll go from scandalicious to a terrible scandal. For those that may have heard this locally in Utah, there were some children that were essentially kidnapped by one of their parents and taken, and they were missing for quite some time. And these children have now been found. 4 children from West Jordan, Utah, who vanished with their mother over Thanksgiving, have been located in a state-run orphanage in Croatia, U.S. Weekly reports.
Mm-hmm.
The mother, Elisha Seymour, 35, was arrested in Dubrovnik on January 16th. West Jordan police said Seymour disappeared with her children, ages 11, 8, 7, and 3, after a visit during Thanksgiving holiday in November. Surveillance footage last captured them at Salt Lake City International Airport, boarding a flight to Europe. Kendall Seymour, the father of the 3 children, confirmed their location in a Sunday update on a GoFundMe page. He said, "The kids are trapped in Croatia, a state-run orphanage. We are in the country trying to get the kids out of the custody of the local government." This is tragic.
What I don't know, and I would love it if there is a Facebook group, this, that, or the other. Why am I missing out on the fact that the world is coming to an end and that we need to go somewhere else? I would like to be a part of the Facebook groups. Your children are zombies. You need to get out of the state, etc. I can't remember the guy's name, but you remember a couple years ago, there was a peculiar. This was in, I think, Idaho, where
it was Arizona and Idaho, if I remember.
That they were trying to get the boy who was like 16, and they took him
Yes.
to California,
took him to
or
Arizona,
Oregon or something
and then
like
took
that.
him.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just why am I not a part of these?
I don't know
groups?
where this information is coming from, but my gosh, it sounds like this woman did leave some notes. She left a note referring to a message from God saying that she would be in Italy by Christmas. And then a second note was a to-do list that included buying a prepaid burner phone for her communications. And it was the babysitter that discovered that the children were missing and informed the father in a panic. This is just, the father's comments were, "When we were married, there was nothing like this. We both grew up LDS or Mormon, but there were none of these beliefs about the end of times or Salt Lake specifically being destroyed." So it makes it sound like the mother thought she was rescuing the children, and how they ended up in an orphanage with their mother in custody is crazy.
Well, because she got arrested, and then because there was no parent in the country, they had to take her to an orphanage or take the kids to the orphanage. But, if Salt Lake is going to be destroyed, it's because we water our lawns and the dry Salt Lake bed kills us all. That's
because y'all deserve it.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what? Take our snow then, you baby in North Carolina. If you're going to throw crap like that around, that's fine. We don't need your.
No.
We don't need your.
I think less watering is good. Although my father has taken it seriously. My father lives in Orem, and he has taken it serious and only waters his lawn, 2 or 3 times a week during the middle of the summer.
Sure.
And his lawn is showing the stress, but I'm proud of him for trying to do his part.
Yeah, we have done the thing where we, once the spring hits here, we will take out one of our zones for grass watering. We'll make it different vegetation that takes way less water. Yeah. That's one of the ways that we're going to do it, because we also plan to expand kind of in our side yard. And so we're just trying to keep our current water usage what it is, but have it water more space. So
that's good.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Thank you
for my
saying
yard. I'm being more selfish and self-serving in my new yard. There's going to be no lawn at all.
Good for you.
It's all going to be landscaping and bushes
Smart.
and grasses and things like that don't take a lot of watering. Side benefit is it doesn't take a lot of watering. The real benefit is I don't ever want to push a lawnmower ever again in my life.
And you don't have to.
Unless I'm doing it for someone else's yard. Then I'm totally fine doing it.
Yeah. And it's sort of therapeutic. It's fun to get behind, to get the feel, the motor. Yeah.
I won't be mowing my own lawn ever again.
Good for you. The Epstein Files has an interesting tale or two that involves the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Indeed.
Millions of documents that have been released now at this point. One is a possible tuition payment to a BYU Idaho student. Multiple emails released in the most recent batch said that there was some correspondence from 2011, when the Cultural Hall started, with someone who is likely a female student at BYU Idaho. Emails detail an agreement that indicates Epstein sent a check likely to pay for the tuition. However, the check may have been sent back. My aunt blank, because it was redacted, said that you sent a check to BYU Idaho and it was sent back. A different email sent to Epstein just days later indicate the payment was made. I am so thankful for your willingness to help blank. She will do well in school and make use of the money. Happy. The second email subject line says student blank, BYU Idaho. Apparently also there were visits to Park City. This email says that Epstein likely came to one of the resorts up in Park City. That is not LDS related. But then there's another one, and I don't see it in this particular story, about drinking Mormon blood. And I just...
Yes.
Good for us. Let's get on board.
I looked into those. So there has been all kinds of chatter on the social networks, whether it's X or Reddit or whatever network you follow. Mm-hmm. And there have been mentions of potentially... senior leaders in the church being involved or mentioned, or this Mormon blood drinking thing being mentioned. And so I dug into it. And it turns out all of that comes from non-confirmed sources. And all of the original sources seem to be on social networks themselves. So mostly on Reddit. And so it's very clear that that although there are online discussions and other mentions of Mormon, these all come from public commentary. There's no independently verified source that shows that the Department of Justice files released reference any of those in any way. There's no evidence. There's no formal involvement in the church at all in the Epstein files.
Yeah, which can you imagine? And I'm so grateful that it isn't the case, because there have been all types of people that have been mentioned with this latest releasing. Can you imagine if you were just kind of humming along and you're like, and Jeffrey Holland, and you're like, what? Yeah, I'm so grateful that the leadership of our church not in that at all.
Yeah, same here. Not surprised, grateful and not surprised.
Yeah.
But also fully supportive of those who are mentioned, particularly those that are mentioned more than 1,000 times, should be put on a list and prosecuted to the greatest extent of the law, starting from the very top.
Yep, all sides.
Both sides. Doesn't matter. Both 3 sides, 4-sided, whoever.
Yep. You broke the law? Well, guess what? We're going to hold you accountable. Great.
That's right, particularly for this kind of heinous crimes that are being alleged and have been confirmed by a large number of victims and witnesses.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what? We are rocking and rolling through this news. We've got about 10 minutes left and just one story. So depending on how long we do with this, we may be able to do a little bit more news, more than anticipated.
How about that?
Okay. It's you.
Congratulations to us. So along with the scandal of the Epstein files, there is also what seems to be a scandal with the church supposedly, allegedly supporting terror-aligned Islamic charities. According to this source, which it turns out is essentially a personal blog of an individual that does research and posts under some kind of official title, they are alleging that the church has donated upwards of $120 million to support 10 radical Islamist recipients, according to electronically filed 990 tax return data. A number of different Islamic organizations are referenced, and according to this article, there are all kinds of alleged connections to specific Hamas groups or Islamic terror groups, et cetera, et cetera. Several things to mention. Number one, in all of these cases, although it mentions dollar figures, it turns out 100% of what the church has donated to any of these organizations has been in medical supplies and food products.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, the church goes through a rigorous process for evaluating the charities that they provide these things to. Now, what they can't do is control where those products end up in the end.
Sure.
And
it's a donation. It's an overstep for us to be like, we're going to give this to you and make sure you give it only to these people.
Yeah. Yep. So we trust the organizations to give it to the people that they need to be giving to. But having worked in third world countries, lived in third world countries, visited in third world countries plenty of times, there are lots of products there that are there in places that you never intended them to be. And so I think that's what's happened here. Again, I dug into the author of this one, and learned a little bit more about it. Number one, the piece specifically identifies Globus Relief and Lifting Hands International as major donors to these organizations. The author claims that they have ties to Hamas and the Muslim Brotherhood. The author, Sam Westrup, is the director of a thing called the Middle East Forum's Islamic Watch, and frequently writes about the intersection of Western nonprofits and Islamic organizations. In other words, it sounds like he's the kind of person that is always looking for a scandal.
Yep.
And is trying to make a name for himself in doing this.
Yeah.
Globus Relief, in fact, responded to these allegations and issued a statement clarifying that they are an independent 501c3. They are not owned or operated by the church. It's made up of private individuals. Some of them are church members. And that they noted that all of their support consists of in-kind medical supplies, never cash grants, and that they follow strict U.S. legal screening processes for all partners.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you for clarifying on that, because if you just look at the headline, you'll go, wait a minute, we're funding terrorists?
Yeah.
And then you can quickly get, askew on all that.
Exactly.
Happy birthday, dear Perpetual Education Fund.
Happy birthday to you.
It was announced, and I remember, by President Hinckley during General Conference, modeled after the 19th century Perpetual Emigration Fund to help Latter-day Saints outside the United States and Canada break the cycle of poverty. Elder John K. Carmack, now an Emeritus General Authority, 70, led the program for its first 11 years under President Hinckley's direction. The fund has assisted 130,000 individuals in 80 countries. Approximately 88% of graduates report finding better work after completing their education. Many beneficiaries have gone on to become local church leaders, including stake presidents. The program is designed to be self-sustaining. It provides loans with little to no interest, partial scholarships, and discounts for regular or rapid repayment. The funding is also specifically targeted at market-ready skills that lead to meaningful jobs. And then there's a couple of great examples, people that have gone through this program. Just 4 days before his death in 2008, President Hinckley attended a Perpetual Education Fund committee meeting and declared, "This program has been a miracle. It really has done what I hoped it would do." Now celebrating 25 years, and that in collaboration with the worldwide, why can't I think of what it's called? BYU Pathway, the education piece of that, phenomenal. The way that we are changing lives, both of the membership of the church and of these particular communities where these individuals are able to get better jobs, make money, to be able to provide for themselves and for their families. So just incredible.
I know several individuals who have taken advantage of this fund and have been hugely blessed by it, and it's blessed every one of their family members and their neighbors and the church and those around them.
Yeah.
So what great vision President Hinckley had to recreate the fund that was created in the early days of the church to help immigrants come over from other countries and to help them cross the plains and reach Salt Lake City. And to replicate that with education was really visionary.
If you have not done this, this will be our last story. You need to watch Elder Kieran's speech that he did, his talk, celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Institutes of Religion. This was this last Sunday night as we record this. He and his wife both spoke, addressing young adults across the world. And I know you're thinking, well, but Richie, I'm anything but young. You're correct. And also, you will glean things from this talk. The devotional broadcast was held at the conference center, but you can get it online. He began his speech by saying, "This is cozy in the most gargantuan sort of way." Elder Kieran is so great in the way that he addresses.
He is so sincere and so authentic, but has really a what I call it, a kind sense of humor, right? That comes with everything he does.
Yeah. Elder Kieran highlighted the metaphor, quote, "You don't know how high you've climbed until you look back down on the mountain." If you are, and I mean this genuinely, if you are in a place and all of us will be or are in a place where you're like, I don't know, life seems maybe a little bit tough, or I wish I would have made different choices and maybe I'd be in a different place right now. That sort of life frustration. Is it just me? Am I the only one who gets this? Do you ever get that, Verlin?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. This talk is so great. Echoing this, Elder Matthew Holland's recent talk. I think he was at the BYU, maybe BYU Idaho, and he did a devotional. The most recent Matthew Holland talk as well. Like, these are great out of conference hits that if you are not listening, finding, and watching them, you need to check them out. They make them your Sunday morning getting ready for church kind of thing.
So you mentioned a few episodes ago, Elder Holland, Matthew Holland, and him you think being on track to be a member of the Quorum of the 12. And I kind of pushed back on that a little bit. After listening to this most recent talk, I'm with you.
Yeah.
He is setting a vision, and he is doing those kinds of things and making an impact. In that talk specifically, he really focused on the Book of Mormon. And helping us use the Book of Mormon to navigate today's challenges.
Yes, and
which was
so
wonderful.
good.
Oh,
it's so good.
excellent.
I just want to do a quick check on how old Matthew Holland is. Yeah,
he's
gonna. If we're gonna get him in, he's 59. If we're gonna get him in, I don't think that he'll replace. I don't think that he'll be the next one in.
I don't believe so.
But he would have to be the one when Elder Eyring or Elder Oaks passes. In order for him to,
I'm going to say
at
least two or three away, and maybe not, but he's certainly, and he is also such a authentic, devoted, caring individual himself. And I say that because I know him personally and have worked with him. And the way he does things, and he does them differently than I would do them, but he does them in a very inspired way.
And there was a thing that I can't remember, maybe the Trib was saying about how Mormon royalty used to make up the large part of the apostleship or whatever, right? And so for people that are like, well, I don't know, would we just have another one of the same family? That seems like there's got to be other people. And I would just be like, yeah, of course we would do that.
Yeah,
of course we would do that. Of course we would. So that's that.
Yeah. Well, the Lord qualifies who He chooses.
Yes, and to that point, could choose lots of people.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Not me. He won't choose me, and thank goodness.
We're still waiting for you to be the next bishop in your ward. It just says you have to be married. It doesn't say that your wife has to be a member.
You'll be waiting a good long time.
I'm lobbying for it. I'm praying for it. So
are you?
Because I think you would be fantastic. I've said it before. I don't need to say it again. You would be great.
If my work were different, I would entertain the idea of a higher, more involved, like a leadership thing within the church. But
I am going to say that I do believe in miracles, and the Lord can work miracles in lots of different ways. And
listen,
so
I
I'll just
tried the
leave
lottery.
it at that.
That could have been a miracle that He could have granted me. I genuinely. This will blow people's mind. I promise we'll end this very quick, you guys, because I know we're at the hour. But like, if I could just have the job where I knew that everything was going to be taken care of financially, right? And it's like I get to do the fun things that I want to do and whatever. But like, what my day to day would be, my goal. I want, one of these neighborhood parks. It's not very big, but like it has the little pavilion you can go and rent
swing
it.
set,
and it's got a
pavilion,
couple bathrooms.
maybe a tennis court, or now maybe a pickleball court.
Yeah, right. Maybe one ball field, maybe not, but there's certainly a field you can kind of throw the ball or frisbee or something like that. I would love if my job were to take care of that little park. That's it. Oh, that's the park that Richie works at. Richie, we're trying to book our family this thing at this time. Great, you guys. Good to see you again. Oh, my gosh, Johnny's getting old. Great to have you. Yep, I just finished cleaning out the bathrooms. They're pristine. Thanks for coming to this park. I will, if there is a chance that I can ever do that, that is my retirement plan. Small park, part-time stuff, take care of it, and do that. And if I were to win the lottery, that would be what I would do. And then I'd be the bishop, and I can be like, hey, I'll take care of you. What do you need? And also, I'm going to be working down at the park. Why don't you come down and we can visit there? That would be the way that I would do it. But right now, will you please pay me money? Can I do something? Is there anything that I can do that could make money that I could do at any time of the day? Can I go and do that right now? Because I need to do that right now. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to pay this. Can we do that? Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for paying me money to be able to do that thing.
Well, number one, I think that's the reason you are in the short list to be a bishop, because you think that way, that you do about the park. Yeah. And number two, having watched you in a little bit of work circumstances, you are not like you portrayed yourself just most directly a moment ago.
Well, sure.
You're not that way. And so you're one of the people I admire in terms of your fiscal control and fiscal responsibility. And I need a little bit more of that in my life too.
Wow. Susan and I are planning an intervention, so look forward to having that conversation coming up. We hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
And if you weren't healthy enough to listen this week, you will be healthy enough to listen next week.
And that when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. Before we get to this, I need to say a special shout out to Tyler Harper, who has recently become a Patreon saint. He was before. He is back again.
Thank you, Tyler.
Patreon.com/The Cultural Hall. Be like Tyler. We should all try and be a little bit more like Tyler. In the meantime,
if you're listening and if you've been listening for more than a year, you ought to be a Patreon saint at the lowest level, at least.
Verlin said it, you guys, from his lips to your ears. Okay. In the meantime, go Tar Heels.
Chris at Alpine Lakes Travel.
Chocolate Cake Bites Podcast.
The Tiger with a U.
Debbie Wanless.
And Latter Day 3D Studio.
We will be saving a seat for you.
On the back row. Of the Cultural Hall.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Cultural Hall show.